Hello everyone, I want to look at the new hero, Aurelia. So Aurelia is going to be a celestial hero, also an intelligence-based hero. The class is a mage and the primary role is buff. So hopefully we'll see some buffs from the hero here. Looking at the skills, let's start with the ultimate skill. It is called Harvest Keeper. At the start of battle, Aurelia waves her sheath of grain, causing a grain sprout to appear on the battlefield every 10 seconds. Aurelia is invincible and cannot be targeted for the duration of the skill. Up to 3 grain sprouts can be present on the battlefield at a time. After growing for 4 seconds, grain sprouts will ripen into crops. Crops will be harvested immediately, granting all allies 100 energy and dealing damage equal to 200% of Aurelia's attack rating to nearby enemies. After the harvest, an autumn harvest zone will be created and will remain for 3 seconds. Enemies within the zone will suffer health loss equal to 50% of Aurelia's attack rating every 0.5 seconds. Up to 5 autumn harvest zones can be present at the same time. And the active ability to this skill is Aurelia sounds her horn, creating 3 grain sprouts on the battlefield. And with the level 2 ability, a new grain sprout is created every 7 seconds. And the level 3 ability is if there are already 3 sprouts on the battlefield, any new sprout will cause the most ripened sprout to ripen immediately. So growing crops in here, granting the allies 100 energy and also dealing some damage to the enemy heroes. Then also creating the harvest zones as well, giving the enemies health loss as well with the harvest zones. So it sounds like the allied heroes can gain a lot of energy from this skill. Let's look at the second skill. It's called Reaping Portent. This is a passive ability. Allies within autumn harvest zones gain 10 points of physical pierce, while enemies within the zone suffer 20% more damage. When a target is a summon, this damage is doubled. This effect does not stack. With the level 2 ability, allies within autumn harvest zones gain 15 points of physical pierce, while enemies within the zone suffer 25% more damage. With the level 3, allies within the autumn harvest zones gain 20 points of physical pierce, while the enemies within the zones suffer 30% more damage. And the level 4 ability, for every 15 seconds of erosion Aurelia has, allies gain an extra 5 points of physical pierce for a maximum boost of 40 points. So the allied heroes are going to gain a lot of physical pierce in here. Also, the enemies will suffer a lot more damage in those autumn harvest zones. So let's look at the third skill. It is called Wilting Time. Causes the enemy summon within the highest attack rating to begin withering away, suffering damage equal to 15% of its max health every second, up to a maximum of 720% of Aurelia's attack rating until death. After death, a grain sprout will grow in its place. With the level 2 ability, summons suffer damage equal to 25% of their max health every second. With the level 3 ability, if no enemy summons are present on the battlefield, a grain sprout is created. And the level 4 ability, which is the first engraving skill, if no enemy summons are present on the battlefield, then the enemy hero with the highest attack rating is targeted, suffering health loss equal to 50% of Aurelia's attack rating every second and dispelling most buffs. This lasts for 5 seconds. I like that this deals with the enemy summon heroes. If you have an enemy hero like Grizzle, you don't want those summons to go out of control. So this one I think can really do a lot of damage to those enemy summons, keeping those enemy summons under control. Also has a thing where if no enemy summons are present on the battlefield, then the enemy with the highest attack rating is targeted here as well. So let's look at the final skill we have. It is called Grain Gift. Aurelia waves her sheath of grain to apply blessings to the allied hero with the lowest health percentage and to the allied hero that has dealt the highest damage. Each allied hero can only receive each blessing once. Fertility Goddess Blessing reduces the damage taken by the allied hero with the lowest health percentage. The damage reduction is proportional to the percentage of health lost, but cannot exceed 40%. Not exceed 40% Fertility Goddess Blessing. The attack rating of the ally hero that has dealt the highest damage is increased by 30%. The blessing's effect cannot be dispelled. With the level 2 ability, the Fertility Goddess Blessing can provide a maximum damage reduction of 50%. With the level 3 ability, the Blessing also dispels most of the target's limitation effects, and Aurelia gains 5 points of erosion for every blessing she applies. And the level 4 ability, we have the second engraving skill. For every 10 points of erosion Aurelia has, the effect of the Fertility Goddess Blessing are increased by 20% for a maximum boost of 240%. So giving the allied heroes here a blessing, helping to reduce the damage taken by the allied hero with the lowest health percentage, which sounds very nice. Also increasing the attack rating of the allied hero that has dealt the highest damage. So overall, this sounds like a pretty good skill as well. Let's look at the signature item. So unlocking this signature item, enemies within an Autumn Harvest Zone lose 30 points of haste. This effect does not stack. With the plus 10, enemies within the Autumn Harvest Zone lose 50 points of haste. With the plus 20, allies within the Autumn Harvest Zone gain 30 points of buffer and dissolve. With the plus 30 signature item, allies within the Autumn Harvest Zone gain 40 points of buffer and dissolve. And in the plus 40 signature item, the durations of Autumn Harvest Zones are increased to 6 seconds, and every time one appears, Aurelia's attack rating is increased by 8% up to a maximum increase of 80%. I really like that the enemies are losing haste. Haste is very important in this game. So debuffing the enemy heroes, also giving some buffs to the allied heroes as well, and also giving herself an attack rating buff. So a lot of buffs with the signature item. Let's look at the exclusive furniture. For the 3 of 3 furniture, for every 10 points of haste Aurelia gains during battle, the ripening time of grain sprouts is permanently reduced by 0.5 seconds down to a minimum ripening time of 2 seconds. And the 9 of 9 is when Aurelia or an allied hero takes fatal damage from enemies, they become immune to that damage, immediately recover 30% health, and become invincible and untargetable for the next 2 seconds. This effect can only be triggered once every 18 seconds. So reducing the time the grain sprouts are ripening here for every 10 points of haste that Aurelia gains. Also ignoring fatal damage here. And this is applied to Aurelia or an allied summon that will take fatal damage. So overall sounds pretty good with the exclusive furniture. So overall, my thoughts on Aurelia, sounds like a pretty good hero. It does provide quite a bit of buffs, like I was hoping with the primary role. I'm hoping the sprouts that she has and also the harvest zones can do a lot for the allied heroes. So overall, I see some potential with Aurelia. And if you like this video, then make sure to click the like button. Also subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss a new video from me. And also comment, what do you think about Aurelia? And thanks for watching.